We got to talk a little bit of crypto. We got the government seizing $15 billion in crypto. And I'm sorry to laugh about this because there's individuals involved in this. Is horrible. On a forced labor crypto scam case. I've seen different reportings around here. This one was from Zero Hedge. Evidently, the U.S. government has taken custody of over 127,000 Bitcoin, depending on the price you pick. It's over 15 billion. And they talk about this scam going on across the UK, Cambodia, and China. This is just baffling stuff. Operated forced labor scam compounds across Cambodia. The reason I pointed this out is because A, you got like a Swiss Army knife at this. So this can lead to a lot of perspectives and conversations, in my opinion. For instance, you got 127,000 and change Bitcoin. Can the DOJ redistribute that or refund that to the people that got scammed? Now remember, everything's trackable on the blockchain. I'm not saying that's easy. That's over my head. My point is that you talk about a sigh of relief, call it some good luck. Can you imagine getting scammed on any amount of Bitcoin and then finding out that you might get it back? Or, that's one area. Or do they just say, hey, it's ours now? Does the DOJ just kind of continue to hold this or a portion of it? Does it get locked into the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve? Now, what does that do? Well, that means more coins are locked into the U.S. Treasury or U.S. government account wallet, meaning they're not, remember, there's only a fixed amount, 21 million Bitcoin ever going to be in existence once the miners get done with all their stuff. So if you're taking supply off the market, what does that do? Well, if demand either stays the same or increases, then you're going to have a higher price because more demand is going to have to flow into, in our case, more dollars are going to flow into a finite asset with even less supply, depending on where this goes. I think that's a very interesting way to look at it as well. And those are the two most interesting to me. But the demand for crypto, I just think that it's conversations like this and perspectives like this that just drive it home to where, hey, this is the only asset where you literally and actually have a finite amount. As Frank's talked about, gold is not finite. Yes, it increases slowly depending on mining and the cost of mining and all that kind of stuff. But we are not running out of gold, just like we are not running out of silver, just like we are not running out of oil or natural gas or any other thing else, okay? And I know we're not going to be around here before when we understand whether we're right or wrong, so I get it. But the Bitcoin seizure here, I don't know if you guys saw this and how this will play out, but I don't understand how this isn't just another bullish data point for crypto in general, because again, you're either making people's days, refunding or giving back their cryptos, or you're putting it in the strategic account and taking it off the supply area. I mean, either way, that's fantastic and bullish in general. As far as cryptos, I want to just give you the way I'm thinking about this. We'll look at a couple of crypto treasury companies. So BMNR is the ticker, BitMine. This is one run by Tom Lee. And then DFDV is DeFi Development Corp. DFDV is focused on Solana as a treasury asset. And they put out a press release today just saying they added to their Solana holdings. These are down on market volatility and such. And then BMNR, they recently did a offering at a higher price than the stock was trading. And Frank and I need to revisit this. Let's say, I'm using just an example. Let's say the stock was trading at 60. They did an offering. Normally you see the offering at a lower price. Galaxy Digital just did an offering. Their stock was in the 40s. They did an offering to a private large asset manager or somebody, they didn't disclose the name, at 36. Okay, that's typically what you see. Earlier, these guys did one at a higher mark and the stock sold off. Just saying that's good conversation for a little bit later. What I want to point out here, from an easy trading standpoint with the volatility in the BMNR and the other DFDV, these guys are good about transparency, and putting out press releases when they buy and how many coins they have and the value of those. So some easy trading is just typically strategy now is obviously the lead dog on the treasury side, but they usually trade for 1 to 2 times the value of the coin's holding. So if they hold 50 billion, maybe they have a market cap of 100 billion or a little bit more. That's obviously going to fluctuate. With BMNR and DFDV, if the price comes down to where you're about equal, and the way they use it is MNAV, so it's market net asset value, and it's just the holdings, the value of the holding coins. And if it gets close to that one, or something you're comfortable with, that's when you want to maybe look at a trade. And this, from FinViz here, is just drawing simple lines into this little wedge pattern. The cool thing about these patterns are they do break. So this is either going to go massively higher over the 55 or massively lower. And again, as a trader, I'm not a short type person or betting on the downside. I'm more of I just feel more comfortable on the long side. So I would just wait for a dip or whatever and see this. But the crypto treasury stocks, again, I know a lot of you guys like to, trade more, and these should be on your radar because they are going to give you a ton of opportunity around the volatility and everything else.
I think you'll really love Wall Street Unplugged Premium. The Wall Street Unplugged Premium is my members-only podcast where I dive even deeper into this week's events. I'll tell you specifically what moves you can make today. Specific investment ideas I'm recommending and tracking each week. Also, the news we're picking up from our network of insiders. And becoming a member is super simple and super cheap. So head on over to WSUoffer.com to check it all out. Sign up today and you won't miss a thing. That's WSUoffer.com.